God, not government. It could be the best practical, moral, and economical choice for you and your family. It was for me. I joined.
Hear that? That's the sound of a man guarding his home around the clock. Because he has 24/7 professional monitoring from Simply Safe Home Security. With 24/7 professional monitoring, Simply Safe keeps watch night and day. If there's trouble, Simply Safe alerts them and will dispatch emergency help when needed. Protect your home and your sleep. Take 50% off a new system at simplysafe.com today.
The cutest succulents you should add to your collection. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders. Support us at 4h.org.
Living in Florida, we have so much to celebrate. Awesome weather, top-notch universities and sports teams, a rich blend of cultures, and so much more. From fresh market tomatoes to watermelons, from snap beans to tangerines, Florida farmers grow an abundance of safe and affordable products that are prized around the world. So look for the Fresh from Florida label when you shop. Wholesome, delicious, nutritious. Fresh from Florida. Fresh to you.
Succulents are fun to collect because of how unique each one is. But lithops, also called living rocks, are so distinct they don't look like plants at all. A group of them looks more like a collection of pebbles with interesting colors and patterns. They make fascinating houseplants if you give them the proper care. They're a little more high maintenance than your typical succulent or cactus, but once you know what lithops need, including how long to let them bask in the sun and how much water they require, you can grow your own living rocks and watch them thrive. Most lithops are sold as grown plants, which are a bit easier to start with. However, if you'd like an added challenge, you can purchase a lithops seed kit for about $10 online. Lithops take years to fully grow. Make sure they get several hours of sun or other light each day. Lithops are native to southern Africa, where they'll handle drought and temperature extremes with ease. That means you don't need to fuss over them as much as you might for other houseplants. Just be careful not to overwater. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Cooler today with plenty of sunshine. High today 64 to 69, then clear skies tonight. One of the coldest nights of the season so far with a low of 47 to 59. Plenty of sunshine Wednesday. High tomorrow 69 to 72. Then partly sunny for our Thanksgiving Day Thursday with a high of 72 to 75. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto repair with personal care from Sunrise Auto. Matt, good morning.
Good morning.
A little chilly out there this morning.
A little bit. Nice.
It's one of those days where I bet you had a lot of people say, my tires you need to look at my tires. Hey, my battery's not acting right.
Yeah. We're slam covered up, brother.
Right. And this is one of these days where, I got up this morning and my little air light came on and it said, because one of them was at 30 pounds. The other ones were at 34 pounds. So on my way in this morning, I stopped at the first store, which still the tires weren't heated up. I brought that tire up to 34 pounds, just like the other three. And by the time I got to work, I checked it. They were all four at 38 pounds. from the heat, heating them up.
Yep, and the light out.
Light was out, never came in. And that's just, is air seeping out of one tire, or is
it could? Yep.
But it's just still not it's nothing wrong with my tire.
Nope.
But it was one of those things where, people, if I hadn't listened to you, because I've listened to you before, if I hadn't listened to you, I might have freaked out. Oh, tire light's on. I'm low on tire. Do I got a slow leak or something? But you all, on a cold morning, just bring, as the tires are still cold, bring that one that's low up to equal the other three. Yep. Then heat them up. See what happens. I heated them up. They were all at 38, and I'm sure when I go out this afternoon, they'll all be equal again.
That's just so they were at 34 except for the low one.
Except for the low one.
So they went up 4 pounds.
Right.
When you got them a little.
And my tires say that they suggest they be around 35 pounds cold.
Cold.
So, and I like to keep it about a pound lower than what they say. But even though, 35 I understand, but because if you go 35 and it gains 4, you can get up to 39, 40 that way. And, gas mileage-wise, I've read a few articles where it says gas mileage-wise, you need to be between 37 and 39 pounds for the vehicle I'm driving. So, but is that, do you see a lot of concern on these cold days when people saying, hey, my tires, hey, my battery?
The batteries definitely, because then you got a cranking issue. But I think a lot of people are getting used to the tire stuff. I think they're finally, go out there and look at your tires. If it's flat, we got a problem.
And we've talked about this before, but it's good to bring up every when the cold snap. I had a buddy a couple days ago. We were talking about they were talking about tires and everything. He goes, "I got nitrogen in my tires. I don't worry about it."
Yep.
And he was all about how much better nitrogen is than air. Is it a significant difference, and is it better to have nitrogen?
I don't know if better is really, but the thing about nitrogen, so let's just say he had 34 pounds in all 4 tires, and he drove them, got them hot. He still has 34 pounds.
He still has 34 pounds.
Right. Because
the oxygen expands.
Right. The molecule doesn't change.
Right.
So that's the big difference with.
And it is the most abundant element in our air is nitrogen.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get.
Right. So the majority of what's inside your tire is nitrogen, but it's mixed with all the other elements that we breathe.
Right.
So
People think that we breathe oxygen, but actually we breathe more nitrogen than we do anything else.
Yeah, that's right. We got to have our little mix of stuff.
Batteries nowadays, when it gets cold and you have a cranking issue and all, it's not as easy as it used to be when my dad would just take the pitcher of water and take the caps off and pour the battery full of water.
Nah, we don't do that no more. That's for sure.
But batteries back then, you could drive 5-6 years. Now, about 36 months, all you're getting.
Yeah, about 3 years is about what we get out of them.
And they're expensive.
And they're very expensive. And now there's new AMG batteries. There's gel-filled batteries. There's all kinds of it's getting crazy.
And we're fixing to go to all battery powered cars.
All battery.
Batteries are ridiculous. They're expensive as hell, and we're trying to go to the technology of only batteries.
Actually, we're doing that right now. If you go to Sunrise Automotive right now, you can watch a hybrid be worked on right now. We're installing a battery in a hybrid right now.
I just don't. I see plug stations going up everywhere. I didn't realize there are 2 plug stations on the square.
I didn't either.
Yeah, you can park on the square right at the gazebo. And there's 2 parking spots there with plugs, so you can plug your car in right there.
Now, what about all these Wawas, racetracks, Kangaroos, Shell, all these?
There's plugs.
7-Eleven?
Yeah. I don't know if there's plugs there or not. I know there are plugs in the parking garage downtown.
Oh. So.
And how are Wawas and the 7-Elevens and the Circle K's on? How are they going to make any money selling electricity? Because they're going to lose money not selling gas if we go all electric.
And that's like my question is, like, you go to the parking garage downtown, you can plug in your car, get free fuel, right? It's free fuel.
Doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost nothing.
No, so if you buy an electric car, you can fuel up for free. Well, I got to pay for it.
Right.
At $3.35 a gallon. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah. And none of that money is going toward our roadway. They get to drive their electric cars on our road.
100% they do. Let's take a phone call. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning,
First
Sonny.
thing, happy Thanksgiving. This is Sonny calling.
Same to you, Sonny.
I read the other day, I think it could be General Motors, that you can buy the chassis with the battery installed, because the battery's like part of the chassis, and it comes ready, it'll roll and everything else, and you can put your own body on these things, like a kit car or something. And I'm wondering if you think that might be something to do. When you work with something like that, the motors are already there. The only thing you got to do is worry about getting what kind of body you want on the thing and designing it the way you want. So I was wondering what you think about that.
That's pretty interesting.
I would love for that, because then I get to make the decisions.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that right now. I mean, there's kits out available for just about any kind of car. You know what I'm saying? Like
Kit cars everywhere.
Yeah, there's kit cars, and a lot of them. Probably the Cobra, that
little blue blue and white stripe
Cobra. the little blue and white Cobras that is probably the most famous of the kit cars. And some of those kit cars are really nice and very and let me tell you, and they bring a lot of money. So yeah, but the electric stuff, I don't know. I look at it as I just rather buy something and not build something myself.
But that's because you build things all the time. If you're a guy that likes that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing, but I like doing it Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5.
And somebody giving you a credit card to pay for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, just yeah.
And are you going to see? Because you see a lot of the industry that we're right in front of us, the airline industry, right? You see a lot of experimentals because people say, hey, why go buy a plane? I'll build my own. It's an experimental and everything. You think you're going to see a lot of that in the car industry if they go to all battery?
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's certain people that are going to that have that mindset, that have that ability, that have that desire. And then I think there's going to be some that are going to just like, yeah, where can I go buy one of these and just park it in my garage?
That's the Matt Gibbs approach. Where can I go buy one of these?
I mean, would you sit down on the weekends and build you an electric car?
No. I have no idea where I would even start. Okay, here's how I'd build an electric car. Here, Matt, build this car for me.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of folks like that. I don't know. I think the guys that would have that kind of initiative, they're the ones that already have those cars sitting, not those cars, but a car sitting in their garages and stuff that they've built and worked on and tinkered with, and I think that's their passion, their hobby, their love. When they're home and not working, that's what they do. I'd rather go fishing and get on my boat.
I'd rather go play golf.
Exactly. So
when I had a boat, I'd rather go get on the boat and just sit in the middle of the lake and take a few adult beverages. I don't want to be tinkering in the garage building anything.
Right.
Because first off, I don't know how. Second off, I'm dangerous with tools to myself and others around me. So let's go. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's Hugh calling.
Morning, Hugh.
Hey, hi. My mother-in-law called me last night with her car. Whenever she's got a car problem, she asks me questions first, and I usually can't answer them. But what she says when she comes up to like a stop sign and she's got her foot on the brake pedal, it slowly goes down, and she's got to pump it to stop it. What would cause something like that?
Well, I mean, historically, we would go right to the master cylinder. That sounds like a master cylinder issue, but it could have a leak somewhere. So that has anybody who checked the brake fluid and make sure it's full. If it's not full, then we could have a leak in wheel cylinder, caliper, master cylinder, just depending on what kind of car it is. If she can just stop with the engine running, stop and put her foot on the brake, and it just kind of slowly drifts down to the floor, then it definitely has a leak or a bypass. Something's happening with the fluid. So, and I would definitely have that checked. That's not something to mess around with.
Yeah, I know. I told her to go to her service people today, so I believe she might be there right now. In fact, but I really couldn't answer her question. I said, if it's got anything to do with your brakes, I said, don't fool around.
Yeah,
have them checked.
Yeah, don't fool around with that.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Hi, Matt. This is Sonny again.
Hey, Sonny.
You hear about all these stations being put in to charge electric cars. Do you realize how many gas stations have gone up in the Ocala area? It's unbelievable. There's one by me. They shut one down. They replaced it with a bigger one. Plus, they built a whole new one. You got Huawei coming in here, building gas stations. They sell their own gas, I believe. And just a whole bunch up and down, like Northwest 27th Avenue going down toward the college. They just put up a new gas station. I mean, I'm just wondering what the heck the deal is. Is there going to be such a profit in that? Or are these gas stations being adapted so that in the future they can turn over to be a battery charging station?
That's a good question, Sonny. Thanks for the call. Matt, Sonny brings up a good issue. Are these gas stations going to be obsolete in 10 years?
Well, I don't know about all these, like the 7-Elevens that are stuff going up, the Circle K's, but the Wawas that are going up.
Uh-huh.
So what they do is they have a business plan. And one of my questions was, how can they afford to build these things? And this is just in Marion County.
They built 7 of them, I think.
I know, and they're doing this all across the South, I guess.
Yeah.
So that costs a lot of money to buy the property, build these buildings. So what they're doing is, if a Wawa goes up, you as an investor, you can go and purchase the property, and they'll guarantee that you'll make 4%, 5% return on your investment over the next 20 years. So you actually now own the property and the rights to the property. They just control the business side.
Huh. I didn't know that.
So now I'm thinking, if you're the investor guy, and let's say 10 years from now, everything shifts and goes to electric, well, I think you're in a bad way.
I mean, we say everything will go to electric, okay? But will it really? Because I'm driving that Cadillac till the wheels fall off of it, okay? There's some guys that have Chevrolet C10 pickup trucks that's got 550,000 miles on it. They've driven since the early 70s.
Yep.
There's always going to be a need for fossil fuel, isn't there?
I think so.
We're not going to electric furnaces.
Right, exactly. So, but what I will say though is that I believe a lot of these facilities are probably got some kind of infrastructure to make that transition.
You mean like Disney does? They don't like casinos, but they could be an up and running casino in 90 days if it became legal.
If it became, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with that, I think, okay, so just like right now, if you have a CNG car,
yep.
If you have an electric car, you have to go to these kind of places.
Yeah, there's one CNG place here in the county.
On American.
And then you got to go to like Heathbrook to where they got some plugs there, the gazebo, the parking garage. There's plugs around.
Right. You got to go you just got to know where they're at. So I think what's going to happen with the fuels, there's still going to be some around. You're just going to have to know where they're at.
Yeah. People will start keeping 500-gallon containers in their backyard and have people like Stone Petroleum come up and just bring them some unleaded gasoline to have on your property.
Yeah.
So you can fill your car up when you need it.
Yeah. There'll be a way to meet the needs.
See, I can say Stone Petroleum. They are good friends of the show. So I like Charlie Stone.
Charlie's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a good guy.
Michelle, even a better person. And that's hard to do because Charlie's top notch.
Yeah, Charlie's a good guy.
So their son Kevin, jury's still out.
I don't know Kevin.
He does the What's the Line show here on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
The football show. Yeah, jury's still out on him. But, and this is something that everybody's saying, oh, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If a different administration gets in, it could all change again.
It could. It could change. But I think from what I'm seeing, I think the manufacturers are on board. And if they get on board, they're the ones that I don't believe it's going to matter what the government says.
And here's why I think that the manufacturers are on board. And tell me if I'm wrong. Mazda at one time in the RX-7 had a rotary engine. And it was the rotary engine was, a little box. It looked like a bread box. And you couldn't tear that thing up.
It only had 9 moving parts.
Couldn't tear it up. So Mazda was like, that's not a good idea because if you can't tear it up, nobody's buying cars. So they went away from the rotary engine and back to combustible engine everybody was using. I think these electric cars, the reason the industry's so quick to go to these electric cars, same reason the phone industry is the way it is. Your phone, you got 2-year program, but at 18 months, you can turn your phone back in. You just have to get a new phone and then another 2-year program. Well, at 18 months, most people's phones start going haywire on them. I think these cars, they're going to build these electric cars, and in about 3 or 4 years, they're going to start going haywire on them where you got to get a new electric car.
I think
manufacturers want that.
Okay, so I know it's just me and you, right?
Right. Nobody's listening.
All right. So I was at the GM Training Center.
Okay.
So that was up in Jacksonville.
Right.
And I was in a class, and in this class it was when the computers were really coming. They went.
So you're a Mr. Goodwrench, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I was, and I still am.
Right.
I still have that. Yeah. So I was at the GM Training Center. We were working on the new computer system, not the OBD2 that we have today. Okay, this was the
precursor.
This is the second generation of 1980 and a half is the first boarded computers that General Motors came out with. So this is the second version. So we were in a class, and it was a federal emissions class drivability issue class. Okay, and the instructor, his name is Music Stewart. That was his name. And the whole premise of this class is we have to create this car. This car has to run for 5 years, 50,000 miles, whichever occurred first.
That's all.
That's all. It doesn't. That's it. That was the mandate.
Because we want them back we want them back on the property, buying a new vehicle at 5 years or 50,000 miles.
At 5 years, 50,000 miles, the federal government had come in and said, "Okay, this is what we have to do this," and they were able to do it with these electric cars. Just like I got an iPhone. It's amazing how when it's time for me to get a new phone, my battery doesn't charge right. Yeah. This doesn't work right.
The apps you start going haywire.
It's
almost like there's a time bomb, an internal time bomb, electrical time bomb that screws your phone up.
Or we can make this last so long. Just like they had to make in the 80s, they had to make cars last 5 years or 50,000 miles.
Unless it was a Yugo.
Now, we had a Suzuki in there, and it literally had a sticker under the hood that said, this vehicle was built to equipped to run 5 years or 50,000 miles, whichever occurred first. So the salesman sold it as a used vehicle and was asking me, can you take the sticker off? Because it had 48,000 miles on it. I said, well, you take the sticker off. I'm not taking the sticker off.
The car's only good for another 2,000 miles.
It's going to blow up. So this is not new. That's not new thought processing. But this is new technology, and I think they have a better handle on things, which is going to be I'm putting a hybrid battery in a car right now in the shop, and this hybrid battery, you think your car battery's expensive?
Okay, hold on. Let me just try to ballpark. $600. Okay, $800. $1,200. $1,500. $3,000. $6,000.
Now you were close with three. It was about it's $3,500.
Shut your mouth.
For a battery.
A battery. In a hybrid.
In a Hyundai Sonata.
And you're probably going to have to replace it about once every 5 years.
It seems to me that they get about 150,000 miles on them.
So if you drive like I do with sales and everything, you drive all over Marion County. I mean, I bought my Cadillac in 2016. It had 53,000 miles on it. 5 years later, it has 147,000 on it. So I've drove it almost 100,000 miles in 5 years. So about every 5 years, you'll have to replace a battery at technology's point right now.
But here's the other side to the coin. That car, brand new, comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So that car exceeded its warranty. But that was for the original owner.
Right. If it switches on, that's the other thing people don't realize. You get 10 years, 100,000 miles. If you buy that car, like if you go to one of the car lots and get a pre-owned certified Hyundai that's it's got 43,000 miles on it, so it still should have 57,000 miles of warranty? No, because you're not the original owner.
Right.
That warranty is non-existent.
Now, some of the manufacturers, because if it's a certified pre-owned car, they'll give you a warranty extension. Hyundai will give, if you're the second owner, it's 5 years, 50,000 miles.
Right, exactly. So, which still isn't bad.
No, it's not bad.
One of the car lots here in town, I won't say which one because they don't advertise it. One of the car lots here in town, they're certified cars. They give lifetime powertrain warranties on them. They're certified cars. That's not a bad gig.
That's not a bad gig.
Lifetime warranty on the powertrain if it's a certified pre-owned that you buy from them.
And there's a manufacturer that if you buy a car from them, I don't care if you're the 77th owner of the car, if the engine blows up, it comes with a lifetime warranty on the engine.
Well, I need to buy that vehicle.
And I have one. I bought my daughter one.
It is a
and
GMC.
I had to huh?
It's a GMC.
Nope.
It's a Dodge.
Nope.
It's a Chrysler.
Nope.
It's a Maserati.
Nope.
It's an Audi.
Nope.
Am I even close?
Nope. Can I say it?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's a Hyundai and Kia.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a 4-cylinder engine.
Well, that's like the Toyota used to give you great warranties on the 22R motor. Is that it?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't tear that motor up.
that motor was an awesome motor anyway.
I literally put that motor and transmission to the test with a 1994 Toyota truck. I mean, I put it to the test and couldn't tear it up. And then my ex-wife now at the time, she blew it up because she didn't know what she was doing. She blew it up. Greatest vehicle I ever had. One of the greatest vehicles I ever had. Greatest vehicle I ever had was that Nissan Pathfinder. I had a 96 Nissan Pathfinder that I sold with 210,000 miles on it to a guy here. I've told you this. He works for Nissan. He's driven it for another 200,000.
I have a customer that had I think it was like a 2006, it was a GMC Envoy, and I think he sold it with almost 500,000 miles on it, and that guy drove it.
Yeah. But the electric cars aren't going to last like that, folks.
I don't think so.
5 years, 50,000 miles. That's what GM's going to give you a class on that again.
They'll have it all. They'll have it all rigged up, and then the thing about it is, what is it going to cost to fix it?
Is the technology in the Tesla, when the patents come off of that, and I don't know if Elon Musk is going to repatent them or let the whole industry pay him for it or anything, but it just seems like he has a leg up on everybody else in this industry. Like, because Chevrolet makes the Volt and everything, and there's electric cars out there, but it just seems like he has the upper hand.
Well, he stuck with it.
Speaking of stick with it, tell people where they can come see you as you stick with being a mechanic.
Okay, you can come see me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, which is Highway 27, just down the road from Howard Middle School, or you can give me a call at 352-690-1993.
Matt Gibbs, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Tom, and everybody listening.
See you next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.